Welcome to all Caribbean entrepreneurs. If you've been ready and waiting to take your business digital and get paid online while you sip something strong on the beach, this podcast is for you. We'll hear from the Caribbean's finest entrepreneurs on topics like e-commerce, business development, brand building, social media, their wins and failures. This is the only place in the region helping you navigate the digital age from the Caribbean's perspective. This is Digipreneur FM. And now, let's give it up for the Digiboss himself, Mr. Karan Rose.
Thank you to everybody tuning in to another episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. And as usual, it is your boy, Mr. Rose. DJ, you've been with here long enough. You know what to do. You gotta fade us all the way out so we can talk to the people. My goodness, how are you lovely, ladies and gentlemen, in the Digipreneur FM family? How are you doing today? How are you doing today? It is November 26, 2024, and this is episode number 177. We're getting up there. Can't wait for that 200 episode milestone. Mike, how did we even get there? Closing in on 200 episodes. I used to, not even used to, but I would look at a lot of the podcasters that I followed, I've listened to for years. And, you know, when you're seeing some of these guys up into the 1,000th episode, the 500th episode, the 1,500th episode, you're like, wow. To get there is a lot. So to hit that, as we close in on that 200th episode, again, interesting times up ahead. Interesting time. To be fair, though, I should have already hit that 200th episode. Last year, I did a whole lot of traveling, and, you know, I did not have a mobile setup last year, so that because I was always on the road for the majority of 2023, my output, you know, took a little dip on the podcasting because I actually have, you know, my little podcast set up to do my thing. And I didn't get a mobile set up as yet. And then I got the mobile set up at the beginning of this year, and I didn't travel too much this year. I just decided to move to the other side of the world. So, you know, this year was, and I mean, I will do an episode on it, but 2024 was really a year where I felt like you got to take 2 steps back to move 5 steps forward. Like that's how 2024. I mean, we're not 100% done, but you know, we're getting into December. The year is pretty much a wrap. And I plan on winding down and just enjoying my December, not really doing too much work, but just a lot of reflection and a lot of planning in terms of, you know, where do I want to go? Where do I want to be, you know, in this new year? But yeah, 2024 is that year where since the pandemic started, it's been pace for me, and everything has been, you know, every year we've just been taking a step forward. And 2023 was definitely my best year professionally. Absolutely. And 2024, whilst 2024, I mean, we've been doing okay. 2024 has definitely been a year where we took some steps back, to put us in a better position for the long run, you know. And this move is definitely been eye-opening so far, and in just so many ways, But again, you know, I'll definitely have an episode kind of dedicated to, you know, where my mind is at, and, you know, what 2024 has been like It definitely wasn't a down year, but it definitely feels to me as if I needed to take some steps back in order to put myself in the best possible position to move forward. But we'll talk about that at we'll dedicate an episode to that. Today's episode, however, is a critical topic for everybody. For everybody that is in business, for everybody that's in marketing, we're going to be diving into search marketing, AI search marketing. That has been, it's been talked about, just it has not been addressed in the Caribbean. And I kind of been holding back on speaking about it until I started to see it happening a lot more. And now that I know that everybody else is seeing it, I think it's a perfect time to dive into AI search marketing and how it differs from traditional search marketing. And it's really good. And I know in the beginning it was a bit wonky, but as with all AI tools, you know, don't let the early release, stop you from diving in deep, because I think that's happened a lot. I think people expect everything to be flawless out the gate. And I mean, human nature, right? But they expect things to be flawless out the gate. That when something is off, they just kind of, especially in the Caribbean, because we don't really want to adopt new things. We'd rather just bash it, shut it down, so that we don't have to learn something else. Because that's really what that's really all I've seen from the Caribbean market. But perfect example is when you have AI generating images, and there was such a big deal about, oh, it can't get the fingers correct, it can't get limbs correct or whatever. And it's like people focus so much on that, they didn't appreciate the magnitude of where this thing is going, because it's getting better. It gets better every minute. It gets better every day. Every month, you just see things happening within the AI space, and you're like, wow, this is really, really amazing. And we're taking some major steps forward. So AI search marketing is huge. And people don't appreciate just how big it is. And it's going to be so integrated within our user experience as we navigate the online space, that if you are a business owner, if you're a marketer, you need to understand how search marketing is working, because your customers are going to love it and they're going to be using it a whole lot more. And with all the new updates in Chrome, because like I just updated my Chrome today and it dove into AI search and all the different features, whatever. I myself need to dive into what Chrome is doing. Then you have Bing integration with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is now recommending for you to download the plugin so that you have ChatGPT as a part of all of your search moving forward. Like, again, it's not going to disappear. It is here to stay. It is getting a whole lot better. But as a business owner and a marketer, you need to understand how this thing is working so that you can now position your brand or position your company's brand to be able to leverage it, because the end user experience is I mean, to me right now is phenomenal. Like I'm using it a lot. I mean, it's integrated into our search. So I'm seeing it a heck of a lot more. I'm seeing it at almost every opportunity, and I just love it. I love where it's at right now, and I love where it's going to go. So we're going to be diving into AI search today. That way we can really help you guys. Understand, how to use it, and kind of go on from there. Now, search AI changes the rules of everything. This is a whole next level of how businesses can connect with their audience. Now, let me just stage this entire thing for you. Imagine a world where search engines don't just give you a list of links. They give you exactly what you need. It's tailored to your intent behind the search, because every search has an intention, and it does that within seconds, right? This is the power of search AI. So it's no longer just about finding out information anymore. It's about delivering answers, creating personalized experiences, and even predicting what your customers need before they even ask it. But here's the thing. If you are a marketer or a business owner, understanding how search AI works is no longer, it's not optional. It is critical. It is essential for you to understand it. Because the way people search is changing. Search doesn't just happen on search engines anymore. Matter of fact, we have a saying in the SEO world now that it's all about search everywhere, because search is happening across different platforms, different channels, social media. Everybody is focusing on trying to help you get the information faster, more concise, and actual real information, right? Not the misinformation. But AI is shifting how search engines interpret the user queries. It helps with prioritizing the content and decides which businesses get seen and which don't. So we're going to be diving into, what search AI is and how does it differ from traditional search. We're going to be talking about how the technology benefits the end user and why does it matter for your marketing strategy. And more importantly, what do you need to do and know to ensure that your business is AI search friendly. So by the end of the episode, you will not only understand the significance of search AI, but also have actionable strategies to make it work for you. Now, let's dive right into it. Let me kick you off with an analogy so that you understand the role of search AI and the context, and just let me give you a kind of a simplified version, right? So you have an understanding. Tongue twister. So, all right. This is how I explain the difference between regular search engines and now search AI. Imagine walking into a library, okay? And we all know libraries are full of all of the world's information, right? So imagine walking to a library and needing to find specific information about a topic, like how bees make honey, all right? Here's how the experience compares. With traditional search, using traditional search is like going to the library and relying on the old faithful card catalog system. You'd look up bees or you would look up honey in the index, right? You'd look up either bees or you look up honey in the index card catalog system. You would then find the books associated with those keywords and then head to the shelves, like you physically walking over to the shelves to go and find the books. After pulling the books, you would then flip through the pages, scanning for the relevant sections. While you might eventually find the information you need, it is time-consuming, requires trial and error, and often involves sifting through irrelevant material. Kind of like right now. If you want to know how bees make honey, you would type that into Google, and then you'd have to go through all of the different links to find the relevant information that you want. And you have to be the one to go through it and scan to see whether or not you're getting the exact information that you need, right? That's typically how traditional search works. Now, this is how search AI works. Now, imagine walking into that exact same library, but instead of searching through the card catalog, you're approaching the librarian who happens to have read, and this is important, you approach the librarian who happens to have read every single book in the building and memorized all of their contents. So you ask her, hey, Sheila, how do bees make honey? And the librarian immediately provides you with a clear, concise explanation of how they make honey. But if you want more detail, they might suggest specific books or specific chapters that go deeper into that topic. Even better if your question evolves into, How does honey production benefit the ecosystem? Or what flowers produce the best honey? The librarian seamlessly adjusts, pulling together information from across all of their knowledge, from all of the books that they have read, and all of the contents of those books, right? So, traditional search, you are the one that's doing the heavy lifting, the locating, the scanning, and piecing together all of the information yourself. With Search AI, it's like having an expert librarian at your side, cutting through all of the noise and delivering precisely what you need, tailored to your specific question. This is the difference between what AI brings to the search experience. It's bringing efficiency, accuracy, and adaptability. And again, it's AI. So even when it rolled out and there was kinks in the system, guess what? Those kinks are being fixed on a hourly basis, it feels like, because it's continuously been getting better and better and better. And before you know it, it's going to be damn near flawless. I mean, it's technology. Technology is never 100%, but it's going to be damn near flawless. Now, keep in mind, the content is still coming from you. It's still coming from us, the producers of the information. Google and Bing and Yahoo and these search engines, they are still just the middlemen connecting you with information. But with Search AI, it's doing it at an even faster rate, giving you more tailored responses and cutting through a whole lot of the noise and giving you kind of a better guide as to where the information you need is, right? Because it's also going to have the citations when it's providing you with the response. So if there's something that you really liked within that concise overview that they've given you, you can now click on the link as to where they pulled it from, and then you can take a deeper dive into what was provided to you. So what is Search AI or AI search? AI-powered search is defined as search engines that are leveraging artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing to better understand user intention and deliver more accurate, contextual, and personalized results. So some examples of that would be Google Gemini, Microsoft's integration with ChatGPT, right? Those are two examples. And the difference between traditional keyword-based search and AI-driven search, okay? Why does this topic even matter now? The shift in user behavior towards conversational and voice search is what is happening. AI is reshaping how businesses are discovered online and impacting marketing strategies globally, right? So you have people that when they are asking questions, how they are asking it is going to be a lot different with AI, because now it's like talking to a person. It's more conversational. It understands context, and it can provide you more relevant, tailored information to what you are asking. Because what people struggled with before is every single query or keyword you put into Google or any search engine is going to come up with different results. So sometimes people just don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you're looking for sometimes. However, now that you're talking to this AI-powered librarian who has all of the information, has read all the books, understands where it is, where it's coming from, all that good stuff. Now you can speak to it like a person and get better, faster results without having to sift, right? That is why this thing matters, especially in a world now where people's attention spans, and I need to be careful how I say this, people's attention spans, they are more selective with who they give their attention to, right? So a lot of people will say, oh, people have a shorter attention span, they're not paying attention to content needs to be, no, it doesn't need to be shorter. People will always spend or will always give their full and undivided attention to the things that matter to them. Are you, as your company, making yourself relevant to your audience? That's the question here, all right? What AI is doing, and this is one of the reasons why I don't watch a lot of people's video content because even if the video is 30 seconds, I still have to give you 30 seconds of my time to get the information. But AI is cutting down on all of that noise, and it's giving you exactly what you want to what you have asked. And once you know this is the right information you want, you can now start to dive deeper into to the information that you need. All right. Now, the benefits to the end user is what every business owner and marketer needs to internalize. That way, you know the importance and trying to prepare yourself to really show up in AI search, right? And I want to stress on one of the key benefits to the end user is that enhanced relevance and personalization. And this is happening at scale, right? So AI understanding the context, the intent, and preferences to deliver highly tailored results, critical. Because now you can start to add in, different things to personalize that question. Something like, hey, what is the best makeup for darker skinned women? That's going to give you a much better response with AI now in the mix, because now it can sift through millions and millions of pieces of data online, right, to give you that information that you are looking for. Another example would be a query like, what are the best laptops for graphic design under $1,000? That's going to give you precise product recommendations, specifications, and reviews. Before, you would have put that thing in and then you'd have to go through all the different links and then click on each link and then read that person's opinion. But now you're getting this summed up version of that where you can get a good start for the information that you require and then kind of build your way from there, versus that old trial and error of, again, whatever shows up on page one, you got to now open up multiple tabs or multiple links and go through that entire thing on your own. Again, you do it, right? But it takes up time. Then there's the conversational and natural language processing. So users being able to ask questions naturally. Where can I buy sustainable clothing in my area? And get detailed answers instead of sifting through the links. Again, critical. That's one of the reasons why people started to really use TikTok as their search engine. It's giving you it's giving you information, but in a completely different format. And again, the videos that do well on TikTok are going to be the ones where that can really captivate people's attention. So people have been using TikTok as a bit of a search engine as well. But I use it more, like for me personally, I use it when I need to see things, when I need to get a different angle on the information. So I still use the search engine. That's my go-to for everything, because I could easily hold down a button on my phone and ask Google Gemini, hey, this is what I need, and it's going to give me the information. But if I want more visuals and if I want to see it and if I want to get more opinions, I could jump on TikTok and get that information. All right. Predictive suggestions. So AI is going to be anticipating even more your user needs, suggesting related queries and content before users even type it in fully. So it's going to get better at understanding you personally and making the recommendations that fit what you are about as it continues to learn you. Then we have cross-channel integration. So AI search integrates results from multiple platforms, from websites. It does pull a bit from social media. Not everything, but it does pull a little bit of stuff from social media. It pulls from marketplaces and also local directories, creating a seamless search experience. Then we have the efficiency. So most important thing, anytime you can reduce people's time and give them their time back, that's always going to be a winning product or a winning tool. So it does reduce people's time in conducting their searches. Now, how is AI search going to impact businesses? Well, for starters, this is going to be changing SEO. So traditional keyword stuffing, because people still believe that SEO is just stuffing keywords into your content. I mean, once upon a time it was 10, 15 years ago. That's just what it was, but we're so far beyond that. But, people still believe that that's what SEO is, just stuffing keywords. But anyways, keyword stuffing and these things are not going to work. The focus is going to shift on intent-based content and semantic SEO. It's going to rely on importance of structured data and schema markup to make content AI friendly. Visibility in the AI summaries. AI tools like Google Gemini and ChatGPT are going to be pulling data directly from web pages and summarizing it for users. So this is going to help with, again, just being able to give you that information faster in the summaries, right? And giving you the exact information that you want. The businesses that do not have quality content are going to be the businesses that are going to get bypassed. So if you do not have quality content on your website that's answering the questions that people have, you're not going to be showing up in search, right? As AI gets better and better, we should probably start seeing a rise in zero-click searches, meaning that people are going to be searching, but there may be a reduction in people actually clicking through to your website because now the AI tool is pulling in the information and giving it to people within that AI summary. So what marketers and business owners are going to have to do is they're going to have to start looking at their metrics and start adjusting how they measure their return on investment for their content. So you could be showing up in a heck of a lot more AI searches. And right now, I don't believe in any of the AI tools. Sorry. I don't believe in any of Google's tools right now, like Google Search Console or Google Analytics. I don't believe there is a tab that is kind of tracking how many AI searches your content or your business was involved in. Hopefully that's something that comes out in the near future, because if clicks are going to be reducing because our information is showing up as a part of the AI summary, again, that would be something good for us to know. But again, as of right now, there isn't anything kind of telling us if we are showing up in AI searches. That way we can kind of measure it. So you're just going to have to kind of look at your actual click-through rates and stuff like that, and just keep that in mind when you're measuring your ROI. And then you also have how else is it going to impact businesses? Local search and hyper-targeting. So AI enhances local search results by analyzing user behavior and preferences and offering better visibility for businesses with localized content. So you're really going to have to start producing content on your website if you want to start showing up. That being said, the next question people ask is, well, what infrastructure do we need for AI search to be able to find us and find our content? So first things first, comes back down to your website. You are going to need to have a website, and a website that is optimized, that is mobile friendly, that loads fast, that has content. Remember, people are getting on the search engines to ask questions. The search engine's job is to connect the people that have the search queries to the information. If you do not have a website, you're not showing up. If you do not create content on your website that answers the questions that people have, you are not going to show up. Okay? Then you also need to start learning about structured data and markup. Okay? Using schema markup to help AI better understand your content. Again, a couple of examples: product schema, recipe schema, local business schema. If these are terms that are new to you, then you're going to need to start studying search engine optimization. Okay? That itself is a whole episode by itself, but if you want to learn more about what structured data is and what markup is and how to get your content being readable or understood better by the search engines and the AI tools, This would be the work that your search engine optimization specialist needs. And if your organization doesn't have one, you're definitely going to want to find one. And if you want to get into it, I would highly recommend doing so as well. Then you have voice search optimization. So creating content designed for conversational queries. Use natural language and question-based formats. So a big part of what I do when I'm doing my data research is I'm constantly looking to see what are the questions that people are asking and how they're asking it. So I know how to title the content and I know how to respond to the content, because context, context and intention is everything. That is the name of the game moving forward. You need to understand the intention behind people's search. You need to understand the context as to what they're asking, right? And where that person is probably located, because somebody asking, what is the best laptop under $1,000 in Trinidad and Tobago or in the Caribbean, that is going to have some different context for somebody who's living in Russia or living in a whole other country, right? Are we talking about the same currency? As an example, because we say $1,000 as well. Like we would say $1,000 in Trinidad, but we're not talking about US dollars. We're talking about TT dollars. But in Thailand, they say 1,000 baht. So I know context, that person is in Thailand and that person wants something for 1,000 baht, not $1,000. So again, it's just little things like that. All those things are going to play into the type of results that you're going to get when you are creating your content and optimizing your content, right? Then we have the local SEO infrastructure. So keep Google business profiles updated with accurate information, reviews, Q&A sections, optimized for location-specific keywords inside of your Google business. And that is, again, a part of the key infrastructure that you're going to need in order for AI search to be able to find you. Now, what are some strategies to make AI search work for your business? One, this comes back to intent, being able to focus on user intention, conducting audience research to understand the questions that your target market is asking. If you are not seeing a report that looks at all of the things that your audience has asked in the previous 28 days, how are you going to create aligned content? It's one thing to sift through the comments and pick up queries, but the thing is, there are tools, like when you're looking at the Google and the Bing data sets for the questions that people ask, that's the questions that they're putting into the search engines. That's the number one place that people go to find information, is the search engines. So you want to be able to see the data from the search engines, not just the comments that people are leaving on social media, because those comments they're asking might not be the same questions they're asking on Google, right? But when you're looking at the Google data first, when you create that content, you know there's going to be some longevity to your content that you create, because the next time somebody asks that particular question, your blog or your product is going to show up on search. But if you are not using any of the data research tools to see exactly what are the things that people in your audience are asking for specifically based on the Google data sets or based on the Bing data sets, you may be creating content that people are not asking for, and therefore your organic reach is going to be impacted in the process, because you may be creating content that people are not searching for. You may also be creating content that doesn't have the context or the right wording to match the search intentions. Now, I don't recommend you, so typically when I would create my content, I would do 70% looking at the Google data and the Bing data to see exactly how people are asking particular questions. That 30% is me now just going through social media, looking at the comments to my content, and then I get an idea as to what they're looking for. But I focus so much on the Google and the Bing data sets because I know the next time that person asks on the search engines, then my content is going to show up, and that is how organic reach is going to happen. organic reach on social media, as we know, struggles, right? Or you have that window life, that shelf life for content on social media. So on the average platform, Facebook, Instagram, you get 2 days of shelf life before it gets regulated to the algorithm graveyard, never to be seen again, right? But when you are looking at the Google data sets and you're creating content on your website, there's no shelf life on the content. So somebody asks that question a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, as long as your website's available and the content hasn't been deleted, when they do that Google search, chances are they're going to find your content, and your content has there's no shelf life to it, and it can still drive traffic and drive business for years to come. When I look at my blogs right now, articles that I created years ago, 2020, 2019, are still bringing in traffic. But that same video that I did for social media is only relevant if I repost it again. And again, that's if it's still relevant in that in that context. Because let's just say maybe I showed something that was relevant at that point in time, and I did that video and put it out. I can't edit that video, all right? So I wouldn't reshare the video if the information is outdated. However, on a blog post, I can always go back to the blog post and edit so that it's still driving the organic traffic. But that video, if I did a video on the exact same topic, if there was information that's out of date, I can no longer reshare it. I'd have to do a whole entire new video, all right? So this is why you need to have that balance between what you do on social media and then what you do on your websites, because the search engines are your best friend and they will drive traffic for you for years to come. And so that you don't lose any of that organic reach and that power, it's easy for you to always go in there and update it to make sure that it keeps on fresh. That way, that piece of content continues to drive traffic for your business over time. Okay. And that being said, this is going to help you with creating more conversational content. So include question and answer formats that mirror natural queries in terms of creating content on your website to help you show up for AI search. So for an example, how does this product solve this particular problem? Or what is the best way to utilize this service? You can start to now create more conversational pieces of content on your website. And this is going to get picked up a lot easier by the AI tools, right? Start thinking about how the context, start thinking about the intentions, how people are asking questions, and that now can be the basis of your content on your website, making it a lot easier for you to show up in the AI search. You absolutely are going to need to start investing in video and audio content. So AI search tools are increasingly prioritizing audio content and video content. Use transcriptions for better discoverability. So podcasts, webinar, explainer videos, they can all rank highly if optimized correctly. Leverage reviews and testimonials. So user-generated content is becoming more critical as AI learns from customer reviews. Encourage satisfied customers to leave reviews on Google, on your Google. So create a Google business platform. When people are trying to find you or get information or get reviews or whatever, it's going to be showing, the AI tools are going to be showing the reviews that have been left on Google Business. So create your Google Business profile and get more people to leave reviews on your Google Business versus platforms like Facebook, as an example, right? Whew, that's a whole lot. And let me see what else, because I have a list of things. Now, another question that I got asked in an offline conversation I was having when we're with somebody I was talking to about, just digital marketing and where search is heading and, just things happening within the search space. So here are some of the improvements to keep in mind. So number one, we've spoken about this already, which is that understanding user intent. So whereas traditional search focused on keyword matching, users needed to kind of phrase their queries carefully to get relevant results. And if you were the business or the marketer, you needed to really look at the data from the Google data set to see what people are asking, how they're asking that question, and then create the content to match that search query. Whereas in Search AI is going to be interpreting natural language, the context, and the intent behind a question, and users can ask complex or conversational questions. What shoes should I wear for a marathon in cold weather? And get the accurate answers tailored to what they're particular asking. Then we have the personalized search results. So traditional search provided the same set of results for all users searching for the same keyword with minimal personalization based on location or past activity. Search AI today is tailoring results to individual users based on browsing history, preferences, and contextual factors like the time of day or location. For example, a query for restaurants near me will prioritize options that match your past preferences. So it's going to be learning you the more it interacts with you and the more you interact with it. And again, personalization at scale. Then we have the conversational and multi-step queries. So traditional search, each query is treated as independent. Users had to refine the search queries manually. Example, searching for flights to New York and then searching for hotels in New York. Where Search AI is going to be handling multi-step conversational queries. So AI can now follow up on a previous question. For example, find flights to New York, followed by show me hotels near the Times Square, all right, as an example. Then we have direct answers and summarization. So traditional search relied on users to click on the links and sift through the websites to find information. Google started to get better with that over the years by providing you things like the featured snippet, which was that little mini paragraph at the top. Then they had the people also ask section, so other related questions. And then for videos, it would also start to clip out the specific parts of a video on YouTube that answered that particular question. So it was getting better. But now with Search AI delivers direct, summarized answers using advanced natural language processing. For example, asking how does AI work will generate a concise explanation, often with actionable insights. And again, it's now showing you the sources as to where it's pulling all of this information from, right? Now we also have multimodal search. So traditional search was limited to text-based input and output requiring specific formats for query. It then evolved into voice search. With Search AI, it's going to be incorporating multimodal search capabilities, allowing users to search with images, voice, or videos. For example, now you could upload a photo of a plant to identify the species of the plant. So it's just giving you even more ways to kind of search. And again, you could have kind of seen that where this was going, because even with Google Lens, right? You could use Google Lens and take a picture and it give you the information on that particular thing that you were looking for, right? So it's giving you more ways to get the exact information that you need. Then we have contextual and semantic search. So traditional search primarily focused on matching keywords without fully understanding the context or synonyms. Search AI understands the context and the semantics of a query, offering relevant results even if the exact keywords aren't present. For example, searching "how do I fix a leaking pipe" may also return results for DIY plumbing tips. So you see how this is just getting better and better and better. Predictive and proactive suggestions. So traditional search typically offered autocomplete suggestions based on commonly searched terms. So what would happen is, like, when you go into Google search and you start to type, it would also show you like the top searches that have happened within your country within the last 7 days with the keyword or the phrase that you had put in. But Search AI is going to be taking this a step further by predicting user needs based on behavior and providing a proactive suggestion. For instance, after searching for a recipe, AI may recommend kitchen tools or nearby grocery stores to go pick up those said groceries. Now, just imagine if you have that business selling the groceries and you don't have a website listing out your groceries. How would AI know now to send people to you for that follow-up search? You see how this is all working together? This is why everybody needs to have their website. Everybody needs to have their products. People need to understand where things are in the world right now of marketing. It's oh boy, it's a I get excited. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice too. Then we have the integration of broader data sources. So traditional search was typically limited to index web pages and direct links. Search AI is going to be pulling in data from multiple sources. It's going to be pulling in data from websites, databases. It's going to pull whatever they can from social media, user-generated content, and even live data streams, offering more comprehensive results. Improved localization. So traditional search relied on basic location-based queries to kind of suggest local results. Search AI is going to be combining location with user preferences, local events, real-time data like traffic and weather to refine results even further. So searching for coffee shops near me may prioritize ones with your favorite brew or your shortest commute, as an example. Then we have a reduced reliance on the exact phrasing of keywords. So traditional search required specific keywords to align with the index content. Search AI is going to be understanding the synonyms, the related phrases, and even typos. Searching for best budget-friendly smartphones might deliver results for cheap mobile smartphones. So you get the idea, okay? And most importantly, real-time learning. So traditional search relied on periodic algorithm updates. Search AI is going to be continuously learning, adapting from user interactions, improving the results over time. Now, the big caveat in this entire thing is search AI going to replace the search engines, right? Because people have been asking. Let's shut that down. Search AI is not going to replace search engines. It is fundamentally transforming how search engines operate and deliver those results, okay? So search engines are integrating AI to enhance their capabilities rather than being a replacement. So Google Gemini is a direct AI-driven extension of Google Search. Same thing like ChatGPT for Bing. The goal is to elevate the user experience by offering more personalized, relevant, and actionable answers. So it is not going to replace the search engines. It's enhancing the capabilities of the search engines. The search engines also provide the infrastructure for AI. It's built on top. So the AI tools are built on top of the search engine. So again, could never replace it. Search engine or search AI relies on the massive indexing and ranking systems built by the search engines like Google, Bing, and all the others. These platforms collect and organize vast amounts of data from the web, ensuring that the information is accessible and up to date, and then works on interpreting and presenting this data in a user-friendly way, often through summaries and conversational responses. AI cannot replace all of the search engine functions. So complex queries, not all searches are about quick answers or summaries. And I'll repeat that. Not all searches are about quick answers and summaries. People often look for deeper content, multiple perspectives, or exploratory research. Traditional search engines excel at presenting a variety of sources for comparison. Transactional searches like best flights to New York or buy Nike shoes online, still required structured results, links to e-commerce websites, and reviews. Niche and real-time needs, AI may not always provide the most reliable information for highly specific or time-sensitive topics. Okay? So you have to keep that in mind. Now, there is a symbiotic relationship between the two. So in practice, search AI and traditional search engines, they will coexist. AI-driven search for quick answers, personalization, and conversational queries. Traditional search are for broader research, transactional needs, and exploratory queries. Users will increasingly have options to choose how they interact with the search engines depending on their intention. So overall, what does this mean for the marketers and for the businesses? Businesses must prepare for both. They need to optimize content for AI-driven summaries, structured data, high-quality answers, whilst continuing to create content that ranks well in traditional search, SEOs, backlinks, all that good stuff. Marketers will need to understand how AI and traditional search work together to ensure visibility across both modes. Search AI is not replacing search engines. It's making them even smarter. The two systems are evolving together to provide more versatile and a better overall experience for users. For marketers and businesses, the challenge is to adapt to this new hybrid ecosystem to remain discoverable and remain competitive. And specifically to my Caribbean businesses, you're no longer just competing with people in your country. You're no longer just competing with people or businesses in other Caribbean islands. You are competing globally. If you look at Trinidad and Tobago, our Minister of Finance often reminds us how much money is leaving Trinidad and Tobago because people are spending their money on Amazon, Shein, and all of these other wonderful, amazing businesses online. And the reason why a lot of that money is lost to foreign businesses is because local businesses cannot be found. When you're doing a Google search trying to find a particular product, the businesses don't have websites, they don't create content, they're not searchable by any search engine, so therefore they're not searchable by any AI tool, and we cannot find you. That is why so much of the business gets lost out the gate. There's a lot of things that people would spend a bit more money for to buy locally, but we can't find you. And if I can't find you, I can't do business with you. And in the age where people are trying to save their time, nobody wants to go hunting for something. All we want to do is jump online or ask our Google assistants, hey, where can I buy the new Logitech MX Master 3S? I don't want to go hunting on the road and go store to store or call 100 places. I just want to type in or ask the assistant, where can I buy this? And it send me the links to the product. I add to cart and I buy, and it shows up on my doorstep. That is where customers are today. And if you are convincing yourself that Caribbean customers are not there, and instead they want traditional, they want face-to-face, you clearly don't know your customers. So I hope this episode was a good breakdown as to, what search AI is, why it's important, and why you as the marketing people and why you as the business need to start understanding that symbiotic relationship, and then you need to start learning how to optimize for both AI search, but also how to optimize for traditional search. And if you're not doing that, 2025 is going to be a long year for you, a really long year, because your customers are getting more and more savvy. They're getting more impatient. And I'm speaking to Caribbean businesses here. They're getting more impatient with the local businesses. And they want experience. They want to save time. They want to just be able to find a product, add to cart, purchase it, and it show up. They want quality, relevant information to make informed decisions. But trying to get that from a Caribbean business is extremely hard. So we continuously get educated from businesses outside the Caribbean, and a lot of that information isn't always relevant for us. Okay, so keep all those things in mind. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, don't forget that if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate the podcast. The ratings help the podcast continue to grow. And if you really enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to drop a review. I read the reviews. I keep up to date with them. The reviews help other people who are looking to listen to the podcast to determine whether or not this is worth their time. So the reviews help me grow the podcast, all right? I don't ask for much, but please definitely help me out there. And if you are listening on YouTube, we have a lot more people that are tuning into the podcast on YouTube. What's going on, YouTube family? Please don't forget to like the podcast, share the podcast, leave your comments. I read all the comments on YouTube as well. You can find me on KaronRose.com to learn more about building your digital presence and monetizing your platforms. You can check out the Digipreneur.FM website to keep up to date with the podcast and listen to the podcast as well. Don't forget that every single Tuesday, 7 o'clock in the morning, I am on CNC3 with the Digipreneur segment every Tuesday on the Morning Brew with JW. And then Wednesday, the Digipreneur column comes out in the Jamaica Observer. Thursday, the Digipreneur column comes out in the Trinidad and Tobago Newsday. And every single Friday, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., we have the Digital World on Freedom 106.5 FM. That is it from me today, folks. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Take care.
You've been listening to the Digiboss, Karan Rose. We hope your notepad was filled after this episode. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. The learning doesn't stop, folks. And to make sure you don't miss any gems from the Digiboss, go over and follow him on all social media platforms at Karan Rose. Folks, don't just sit there with a notepad. We need you to implement at least one thing into your business before the next episode. That's the only way your business levels up. Thanks for listening to Digipreneur FM. Now go be great.